So the next phase was really activity, which started to go into looking at composition, exhibition, workshops, and of course performance. So one of the first things we did is, you'll remember that we recovered that verse or chorus from a shanty. So we gave it to our local shanty group, or Duag Hour, and they then built a whole shanty song, including the music and other verses around that chorus, so that we now have a completely new and recovered Porthscatho shanty. A really good piece of innovation, I think.
Yeah, it's a really kind of fun way of making this archive material present in present-day communities and giving it a new lease of life. Coming back to Emma, Emma undertook a series of workshops in all four Roseland primary schools in the January of last year, where she got the children playing instruments and involving a piece called the Bahortha Dances, which was written by Anthony Smith Masters, and that is named after a village in the Roseland as well. And then with the Roseland Academy, Ian Stevens, the composer of Carricknath that we mentioned, did a workshop with year 7, 8 and 9 in the Roseland Academy, where he took an aspect of Morvoran, some part of the libretto, and had the children doing some composition around the inspiration. So that was, the Mermaid song from Morvoran was what they were using and exploring and inspiring them as what you could do with music and be a composer. And then on the 9th of February, we had a kind of a grand launch of, or the premiere, the Roseland premiere of Carricknath, Ian Stevens' piece, and this kind of again drew in masses of musicians that had been linked with the Roseland through kind of the legacy of the Radfords that had come down and played at the Tregony Festival in the 1980s. And it was a wonderful celebration of this aspect of music on the Roseland. And then the very next day we had a memory day.
Yes, so Emma again ran a memory day in the village hall, where the children came in and played the Bahortha dances, but also the St Anthony Noise played Cornish tunes. We recovered another piece of music, a piece of jazz music this time, called Waltz on the Roseland by Jack of Jazz. But also we started to look at dancing. We included dancing in that, so that there was the Roseland furry dancing. One of the things that we discovered in the project was that on Roseland we'd belong to dance the furry a bit different to the rest of it. Normally you sort of line up 2 by 2 in front of each other and then sort of skip forward and then go round in a circle and on you go again. But in Roseland at Porthscatho and up at Mevagizzy, people line up in a line of 4 and dance it. And we didn't quite realise we were doing it different until this project, which was a nice thing to find out.
Yeah, Merv and Alison were delighted to, Merv and Alison Davey are dance experts, and delighted to have the community come in and show them how this particular version of the furries dance, and that was an exciting thing to add to it, and also goes into an event that will happen later on. There was a second memory day that was hosted at the Gerrans Heritage Centre, and as Nev will proudly say, was centred largely around tea, coffee and cake, which is a good invitation to get people talking and sharing their memories.
Yeah, these memory days, really so much. People were coming in with bags of material, of music that they had written, or poems and all sorts of bits of music and memories that really helped us out with our project, no end. We also put an exhibition of what we had found together in the Heritage Centre, so that people could come in and see some of the things that we'd found out.
So this was another, in April we had our sort of second major event, as well as that we had the children's the workshops and then the memory days, and then here we had a troil, which is a Cornish evening of music and dance that was hosted as part of the Roseland Festival. So that was an important aspect of what we tried to do with the project, was kind of latch on to things that were already happening and bring Cornish elements of it through the project to new audiences. So that was really fun. And for this troil, it included the Bray family, who the son, Finley, who's I think 16 or 17, wrote us a new tune for the Roseland Furry, which was taught to the audience or to the participants at the troil. And then we'd also commissioned a young singer-songwriter and instrumentalist called Martha Woods to reimagine 2 pieces that we'd found in the English Folk Dance and Song Society's archive that had been collected in Tregony, where had they been collected? It was Jo Chynoweth, wasn't it?
Yeah, one at Ruin Islands.
One at Ruin Highlands. So she'd reimagined these 2 songs, which she played, premiered there as well. And then we also had the shanty group Do Hag Hour come along to sing. So that was a really exciting part of the project, to have the Roseland Ferry and new music out in the open.
Off you go! And just start. Back the other way. Off you go again.
All right, yeah, that was the Troil. That was absolutely marvellous. And on the next slide, we've got Martha's CD, Golden Furs in Bloom, which she included these songs on.
And then the last one, we mentioned the tunes that were composed with the names of Roseland Methodist chapels. Hannah Hawken put them into a new medley, and St Austell Band came along and played them at Philly Fair in August, along with St Anthony Noise playing some tunes as well.